So now we come to the big scene in Act 1. Act 1, Scene 3. In the last scene, we saw a wounded soldier covered in blood bring news of the bravery of Macbeth and Banquo to the good King Duncan and to his weak son Malcolm. Then the Thane of Ross comes in and tells us that the Thane of Cawdor has aligned with the Norwegian king to take advantage of the fierce battle that has taken place, but he too is defeated. The king decrees that Cawdor should be executed and the title should be given to Macbeth as a reward for his service to the crown. And then we come to this scene, Act 1, Scene 3, and the three witches reappear on the heath, this abandoned area near the battlefield. Thunder. And the three witches indulge in some sort of witch-like conversation, killing pigs, swine. Another one says that she wanted chestnuts from some woman and then punish the woman who refuses to give them by sending her out to sea, or it's not quite clear whether the witch is going out to sea in a sieve. Well, witches going to sea in a sieve, it sounds like something out of the Jumblies by Edward Lear, but in fact these were the charges made against the Berwick witches. So this is a reference to historical evidence and to the sort of thing that James I was interested in his pursuit of witches. There was a huge burst of legal trials and executions of witches during the early period of King James's reign. And then this witch is off to Aleppo, where she'll do damage there like a rat. Well, it's a rat without a tail because witches are human and they don't have tails, and there's a drumbeat, and horrified Banquo and Macbeth appear and look at these withered and wild women. Are they alive? Are they real? Banquo is not even sure that they are women. He says, "You should be women, and yet your beards forbid me to interpret that you are so." Now, you've got to remember in Shakespeare that the girls' parts were always played by men or boys, and indeed Shakespeare probably played the part of Lady Macbeth in a first command performance of Macbeth in front of King James I in his court in 1606. It was not performed again publicly in the Globe until 1611. And the three witches greet Macbeth in three ways: Glamis, Cawdor, King hereafter. Three greetings. But who has first addressed the witches? It's Banquo who first addresses them and invites the women to speak. And then Banquo is talking about Macbeth. Are ye fantastical? Are you bewitched? My noble partner. This is really the last time we hear about Macbeth's nobility. He seems rapt withal. Now, this is one of the principles about possession, that you are enwrapped, you are bewitched, you are charmed. And then we've got, if you can look into the seeds of time and say which grain will grow and which will not, speak to me, who neither beg nor fear your favours nor your hate. Banquo steps over that red line. Banquo also is intrigued by the possibility of knowing the future. This is illegal. This is immoral. This is wrong. This is courting the devil. So both Macbeth and Banquo invite these witches to speak. It's rather like inviting Dracula over the threshold, this liminal moment. They say to Banquo, lesser than Macbeth and greater, not so happy yet happier, thou shalt get kings though thou be none. And then they vanish into the earth. And there's another moment of confusion because the earth is bubbling like water. Or they vanish into the air. What seemed corporal, what seemed bodily, melted as breath into the wind. And why do they vanish? They vanish when Macbeth steps in to ask them more information. They go. Banquo immediately asks, have we eaten on the insane root? Have we had a magic mushroom trip? Have we eaten on the insane root that takes the reason prisoner? Have we hallucinated after this fierce battle? And then Ross and Angus arrive. Here they are, Ross and Angus. And they tell Macbeth about the treason and the execution of the Thane of Cawdor. And they also tell Macbeth that the king has given him the title Thane of Cawdor. So the witch's prophecy has started to come true, and Macbeth asks Banquo what he thinks. And Banquo says, and this is important, I'm going to cut to the middle of his speech first because that's what Shakespeare wants you to hear. Oftentimes, but 'tis strange, oftentimes to winners to our harm, the instruments of darkness tell us truths. Winners with honest trifles to betray us in deepest consequence. So the devil doesn't necessarily tell us lies, the devil tells us half-truths. Now, what is interesting here is what comes immediately before that. Because Macbeth asks Banquo, do you hope your children shall be kings, when those that gave the Thane of Cawdor to me promised no less to them? Well, the person who gave the Thane of Cawdor to Macbeth is the king. And already Macbeth is twisting reality. He says, when those that gave the Thane of Cawdor to me promised no less to them. He thinks it's the witches who gave him the Thane of Cawdor. He thinks it's the spirits that are giving him these opportunities, not the king but the witches. And the original source material, Hollingshed, says that the plot to kill Duncan is a plot between Macbeth and Banquo. And that probably gives you the next line. So Banquo says, that trusted home might yet enkindle you unto the crown beside the Thane of Cawdor, but 'tis strange, and oftentimes to winners to our harm the instruments of darkness tell us truths. It's a very obscure line. Don't bother too much with the meaning of the line. Look instead at how the line is written. So Macbeth says, when those that gave the Thane of Cawdor to me promised no less to them, and the line continues, that trusted home. So literally, in the iambic pentameter, Banquo starts the line and Macbeth finishes it. And it's a form of speech which Shakespeare uses to show that two people are united in a single idea. And it's like you finishing someone else's sentence. So the original text may have suggested that Banquo and Macbeth were plotting together, but not the text that we've now got. In fact, the original text may have suggested there's some discussion about whether in the original text Macbeth was Thane of Cumberland, and so the heir to Duncan. And so the killing of Duncan is not that Macbeth will not be king, it's that he wants to speed up the process. He wants the crown. That's something that Shakespeare addresses elsewhere in other plays. People who cannot wait to get the crown on their heads. And then Macbeth gives the first of his soliloquies, the first of his 6 soliloquies. And he says, the important line there is, "Why do I yield to that suggestion whose horrid image doth unfix my hair? My hair stands on end." And he's thinking, even at that moment, he's contemplating regicide. He doesn't identify it specifically, but he's contemplating something so horrible that his hair sticks up. And his horrid imaginings. I'm going to deal with the soliloquy elsewhere, or I've already done so you can find that in another video. And I'll deal with all of Macbeth's soliloquies in other videos. And the scene finishes, the soliloquy finishes, and you have to read the soliloquy with the last few lines that follow it, where Banquo interrupts. And Banquo says, "Look how our partner's rapt." Remember the rapt thing that we get at the beginning of the scene. Look how our partner is bewitched. "If chance will have me king," continues Macbeth, "if chance will have me king, why chance may crown me without my stir, without my having to kill anyone. New honours come upon him," says Banquo. "New honours may come upon him, like strange garments cleave not to their mode, but with the aid of use." So he's not naturally kingly, but may be thou fit. Come what come may, time and hour runs through the roughest day. And this is the first reference in Macbeth to time, time which keeps beating on, no matter what is happening, and you can't stop it. You get that so famously right at the end of Macbeth when he's speaking about tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. And he's talking about tomorrow, yesterday, today, time. And here we've got time and hour runs through the roughest day. It doesn't stop, although things get bad. And in this scene, the first scene that we're introduced to Macbeth, where is the nobility that we were told about? Where is the bravery that we are told about? Instead, we get somebody who's very anxious about the future, whose hair stands on end, who is frightened about what may be, and who is having horrible imaginings, who is rapt, who is already looking as if he is bewitched. Bewitched. Under the power of a witch. Who have we met at the beginning of this scene? 3 witches.